Hello, fellow Redbirds. Welcome to Bird Fans Forever, podcast number 45. Please follow us on our @BirdFansForever Twitter account to be notified of our latest podcast videos and participate in our fun polls. Also, go visit our website, www.birdfansforever.com, where you can find a list of our previous podcasts. Finally, go visit Bird Fans Forever on YouTube and slam dunk that subscribe button. YouTube has our archive of classic Redbird games that we've obtained from so many kind Redbird fans who shared their video libraries with us. We're still adding to our list of online games, so head over to our YouTube site and find an old game to watch. If you're looking for a game to watch, check out the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament game with one of our guests today, including the Jepson set on March 3rd, 2002. And I just wanted to say a few words to help out our Redbirds. Go get your Empower the Nest beer from Keg Grove Brewing Company. We'll make sure they kick up production for the beer when this video goes viral. Sign up for the Jay Billis event with men's basketball Redbirds on October 3rd. And additionally, if you're looking for a way to just support the ISU basketball Redbirds in a more direct way, reach out to empowerthenest.com to join the Men's Basketball Center Court Club. Our guests today are here to provide information about our Redbirds name, image, likeness efforts, specifically the Empower the Nest group. You can get information on the Redbirds NIL efforts from their website, empowerthenest.com. With that, let's dig into all things Redbird NIL. Bird Fans Forever, welcome Jason Higdon and RB4L Chad Mazanowski to our podcast.
Hello and welcome to episode 45 with Chad Mazanowski and Jason. Guys, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Welcome, thanks for having us.
Yep. So today we're talking Empower the Nest. We'll be talking about Empower the Nest beer, which you see me post on Facebook and do some of these other things. But so my first question to you guys, we usually start like, how do you get to ISU? We're throwing those questions out. Steve's out of the country. He's a lazy dog, and he's not going to be on this episode. So how did you, we're going to explain what is Empower the Nest first. Chad, you going to lead this off?
Yeah. So Empower the Nest is the local collective that we put together just over a year ago. I think last July. I think we're probably official as of a 1 year anniversary sometime in August. But it's been so quick that we forgot to celebrate our 1 year anniversary. But, we're a collective. We support all the sports. So it's the only one still in the valley that supports all sports that they're calling. So we're pretty proud of that. But we're here to service, whichever sports are in need of some help, and whichever athletes are willing to get out and kind of help sell the university. I think for the longest time before NIL, all you'd see was coaches. Sometimes you get players out, and John, you and I know.
Right.
Coach would be like, "Hey, you got to go out and meet people." We'd be like, "I just practiced for 4 hours. I got 6 hours of studying. I haven't ate, and you want me to go talk to people? This is going to be good." So now it offers a little more of a reason for them to get out there and network and kind of sell the university. We got some great kids on this campus. And,
Yeah.
It's good to get them out in front of people.
It is. And Chad, you tend to forget that then we get dragged out to some event. We're hungry. They didn't let us go to training table at night after practice. Like you said, you practiced for 4 hours. You still got study hall. And then they drive by and get you like a 4-piece McNugget. You'd be like, come on.
Yeah.
Right?
Or you get there or you'd get there and everybody else would be drinking except you because your coach is
Yes.
we can't have a beer. And you were like, I'd really love a beer right now, but I can't have one.
Yeah. So, remember those days well. All right, so that's what Empower the Nest is. I love to support that, right? Went out to the Blow Nose Pizza this summer, right? Chad was there. They did that. John and Steve, my podcasting mates, came down. So then you guys come up with this genius idea. Show your beer can, and this is where I think Jason starts to come in. Of course, Jason forgot his. He was at Keg Grove.
I was. I was
And he
drinking
forgot
it
it.
earlier. I did.
Oh.
I did.
All right, so
yeah.
how'd you guys come up with the idea of a beer, right? And I love the can, right? You got the little shoot with your phone, and
Yep,
you get the
little
little QR code, and and all that. So,
Yeah.
Jason, how'd you come up with this idea, and how'd you rope Chad into it? Because we know you got to be the brains of this, because we've seen Chad play basketball. Is it man, Chad, or a zone? I don't know. Okay.
Man.
So, I started meeting with the owners, Jeff and Tyler. I mean, I worked there, been friends with those guys for eons, it feels like now, and probably a good 8 months, 12 months ago, they were really looking on ways to get involved at ISU. Kegrove is a great community partner here in Bloomington Normal. As a brewery, I mean, they do so much with charities and things like that. And they, like I said, we were sitting there one day having a couple of beers, and they're like, man, we'd really like to get involved and things like that. And I'm like, yeah. And we started talking, just kind of throwing around some ideas. And probably about 5 months ago, maybe, Chad, one of the folks with the NIL sent us a link that was brewery in Boise State was actually brewing a beer and working with their collective out there.
Very cool.
And I was like, man, that could be a really good idea. So I went back to Jeff and Tyler and was like, hey, what would it be, if we could brew a beer for the NIL,
Yeah.
And just, part of the proceeds just go, right? One of the things we always talk about is in Bloomington Normal, right, in the country, we kind of get a limited donor base, and Weisbecker Fund is doing a really good job of growing, and, we don't want to necessarily take away from that. So we're always looking at ways to, come up with a revenue stream.
Yeah.
And we started talking, and Jeff was like, yeah, we could totally do a beer. He goes, but how will we get it into ISU? I said, don't worry, I'll deal with that. So several meetings with folks, and probably early June, we got the breakthrough that we could get Kegrove into the sporting events arenas there at ISU, and all of a sudden, I mean, it just started moving. I think by the time we had official confirmation by like mid-July, they had started brewing the beer, had it out by early August. The labels, we called it Empower the Nest. It's got a little blurb on it about helping athletes. It's got a QR code that you can scan, and it takes it directly to our Empower the Nest donation page, and you can just donate that way. And it just took off. It's moving. You can find it all over town. Again, at ISU, CEFQ, Hancock, Duffy Bass will carry it. Whatever the soccer field is called, they have it. I'm sure.
Redbird has it because I went
Yep.
to the home volleyball tournament last weekend.
Yep.
And
The
I
golf
was walking
course.
around with my
Wherever they're selling beer, that beer will be in there now. So it's been super successful. In fact, I believe the second batch is already getting ready to be canned here in the next
very cool.
week or two, couple weeks.
Very cool.
So, they've been a great community partner going through this. It's a great tasting beer. It's super light. We made it specifically for anybody to be able to drink it. So I know, folks tend to hear craft beer and they think it's going to be heavy and they're just not going to like it because it's going to be like bitter and hoppy. And this is actually a really easy drinking beer. It's probably easier than your Miller Lights, Bud Lights, Coors Lights.
Yeah. And I walk down the trail almost every day, either bike or walk on Constitution Trail. And so Keg Grove is literally right off that. And so when it went live, I walked down with a backpack. I got a picture. I'll throw it up here of Jason and I got my first 4-pack. So I come walking in there, and there was Jason. I'm like, hey! And he's like, so, yeah. So, and I ended up delivering 2 4-packs to John and Steve. I was going up to Chicago to see them, and I delivered them. So, yeah. And all that money will be...
price, though.
Yeah, I tried getting them to pay $100,000 a can to really help the NLI, and both John and Steve balked at $100,000 a can. $400,000 was too much for them.
It's a pretty good beer, though. So I mean, it's,
yeah. And delivered by me. I mean, delivered by Jon Pemberton, right? So, what more do you want? And so, yeah. So, and Keg Grove is right off Constitution Trail and Route 9. You can't miss it. So, you can get it there. And okay, so, Jason, we're talking about community relations, right? And what you're trying to do with Empower the Nest and bring that together. So, talk about that. Please.
Yes, as I was mentioning earlier, right, we know there's a lot of community dollars that are going into the Weisbecker Fund. And one way we know we can help build the collective is by, getting those student athletes out into the community to build those relationships.
Yep.
I think it's really important that, right, we see a symbiotic relationship between a business and that student athlete. So, the student is getting paid to talk good about, a local business, and the local business is feeding off that publicity, right? The idea being, if a student athlete goes to a local restaurant, tweets it, puts it on Instagram, Facebook, right? That's going to draw people there.
Right.
As that relationship gets built, those businesses and those folks that are going there to eat because of the student athlete, or the employees that are working at that local establishment, are going to really get to know that student athlete, whether it be men's basketball, women's basketball, softball, baseball, you name it, and they're going to have a vested interest, right? Then those individuals are going to want to start going to games, right? Watch, root for those kids. And we all know, when that arena is packed for men's basketball, or Hancock Stadium is packed for, that football game, it gets wild and crazy. That's going to give those kids more juice, more energy to play. We all know at the end of the day, winning cures a lot of problems, right? You start winning, people are more apt to start donating, right, more to the NIL, because they're going to see, hey, we can see some benefits. We get more businesses involved. And then, at the end of the day, ultimately that's going to help the Weisbecker Fund too, because folks are going to want to start buying season tickets, donating to that. So, it's kind of what I call is the circle of life. Just by creating that relationship, it's a win-win-win situation for everybody.
Yeah, totally. Love what you guys are doing. That's why as soon as that beer came out, I was running down to get myself and support it, right? And then getting it when I was watching the volleyball game. So sitting with Jason,
hopefully
Cindy,
that beer is
and
just the first of many
ideas,
collaborations with local businesses that really get going. It would be cool if you could do something for every sport, right? You had a local business that focuses on baseball, a local business that's focused on basketball, both men's and women's, and so forth. So, I think this is just one step, and as local businesses are seeing how successful this can be, right, hopefully they start coming to us and be like, hey, how can we partner? How can we do things?
Yep. Awesome. All right, so, Chad, Center Court. What is that?
So the Center Court Club is a group of, kind of an arm of Empower the Nest / Birds for Service. But it is a group that kind of got together that wants to focus just on the men's basketball side. And we welcome that for all sports. This is just a group that was passionate about men's basketball, said, hey, we want to help out, but, we want our efforts to go towards men's basketball. So the deal with it, it's $500. You get to go to practices. Certain practices will be tweeted out or sent out. There'll be different events throughout the year where you get to interact with the players and coaches. If you want to give more, they're always looking for more. The more that they raise, the more that goes back to the players. This arm, similar to Empower the Nest, we don't take a profit. This is all volunteer. Aside from necessary costs that we have. Everything goes back into the players' pockets. To kind of help them get out and help encourage them to be great student athletes for ISU. But it's a great organization. Feel free to reach out to us. Again, our mail at empowerthenest.com. Reach out to us on social media, email, reach out to myself or Jason, and we can get you in contact with that. If you want to help out with other sports and start the same thing with other sports, we'd love that. We're looking for volunteers for all sports to kind of help raise money and do the dirty work.
Yeah. We actually have 2 events upcoming that so happens to involve Keg Grove in the collective. The first one is next Tuesday. We're actually having a meet and greet at Keg Grove with some of the coaches. So right now we have confirmation for women's basketball, softball, baseball, football, and the one we're still waiting on is men's basketball. But hopefully, Coach Peden, if you're listening, come through for us, buddy.
What time is that event at?
It's going to be 6:30 to 8, and it's just a way to get the community to meet, some of the coaches for different programs. Gives us an opportunity to talk about the collective itself, both, Empower the Nest and Birds for Service. Show some love to Keg Grove for creating this Empower the Nest beer for us. So hopefully we can really start pumping that, get more people interested in that.
Yep.
And then the next event is the ISU for tailgating is actually bringing back ComU, which is their big business tailgate event. I believe that's October 7th. We're actually partnering with Keg Grove again on a tent to talk about Empower the Nest as a beer, Empower the Nest as a collective, Redbirds for Service. I think we may have a surprise other business involved with us. I know
cool.
Chad and I were chatting about getting one of the local boutiques in there. So we'll see how that goes. But it's just another opportunity for us to get more information out about what we're doing and all these different ways that you can get involved. Talk about center court and all that.
Yep. And then the next one we want to talk about is Jay Billis coming into town on October 3rd at 7 o'clock. You can get your tickets through the men's basketball department. The event tickets are $100. There's also a $1,250 VIP table package. And you can reach out to men's basketball for that. And I'm going to be tormenting Jay Billis because his teammate was Billy King, my coach at ISU, and my head coach, Bob Bender, recruited him to go to Duke. So, all right, this is where we wrap up. Guys, thank you so much for being on. Jason, the floor is yours.
Yeah, really appreciated the conversation today. I probably could have spent the next 30 to 40 minutes just talking about beer itself and, the beautiful delicacies of that blonde ale, but I will refrain from that, right? I don't know if everybody is a beer nerd as much as I am, but it's great to see that beer out in the community. Again, huge shout out to Keg Grove to come up with this genius way of partnering with us and really helping out the collective. We're gonna keep refining it. We got more beer coming on the way. I think it's just gonna keep going and getting bigger and bigger. We were already talking about maybe updating label designs, doing some more cool things with that. So it's just going to get better and better. We even have a couple of ideas that I won't share now. But, hopefully if they come to fruition, we can get together again and really talk about, which I think if they do, we'll make some Chicago area fans very happy about this. So we'll just leave it at that. But again, thanks for the opportunity to talk, about the collective and the good things, and we're really trying to help these student athletes out, and getting them connected again to the community, getting the community more involved in sports here. When I went to school back in the 90s, it was crazy. We had a lot of people always in those arenas, with stadiums. CEFQ, which Redbird at the time, was just, Horton.
Still Redbird.
Yeah, right. I know how you feel, right? I'm a White Sox fan, so it's still Comiskey Park to me.
Still Comiskey Park, yep.
So getting it back to those glory days, and Chad and I know is when those kids are winning, man. They are the smiles and the fist bumps and the high fives that they go down the the baseline with the fans is just makes everybody get really jazzed, and we want to see more of that in all of our sports. So
thank you, Jason. And Chad, you and I have been on that court and know how much home court energy, just especially when you got it rolling, you can just turn the screws on and destroy somebody. And it's also awesome when you go into somebody else's gym and you make it dead quiet. When they're just on their hands and they're silent and we're the ones being loud, it is an awesome feeling, right? So we want to make sure whoever comes in the Redbird, that Redbird's home court advantage. All right, Mr. Mazanowski, I do want to remind all the fans of Bird Fans Forever that go back and watch episode 6, because Chad was on episode 6 in the beginning.
Yep.
Skip through the first 30 seconds because that intro is bad, and we got rid of that. We didn't know what we were doing, but the episode with Chad is awesome. All right, big boy, you're close.
Yeah, and I'd just like to kind of echo that as well. That Redbird Arena, it's amazing when it's loud. I've been on that court when I couldn't hear my point guard, and it's a great feeling. You just still run the whatever play you're running, and but it's a great feeling. And feel free to wear outfits and be stupid, because Jason and I will be on the court side acting foolish. So you'll see us there as well. And I have no problem having fun in that way and trying to get the crowd going as much as we can. But one other thing, we love talking NIL. Like Jason said, we could do this all day. I love talking Redbird basketball, Redbirds in general. So this Wednesday evening, 6 o'clock at Keg Grove, come meet Jon and I. We'll talk to Europe, see who can stay the longest and not be annoyed without leaving. Jon and I pour our stories on you.
I could walk there, so I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, and we're calling this segment at Keg Grove on Wednesday at 6 o'clock the Butchers of the Lane, right?
Yep.
We were going to call it the Defenders of the Lane, but I think we had too many fouls to call it Defenders. I think it's more of a Butchers of the Lane. So come listen to the Butchers of the Lane. Keep going, Chad.
Exactly. So come out, hear more stories, hear how you can help, make donations if you want, join Center Court Club, whatever you want to do. I'd like to, thank our other partners in this. Jason and I, along with Mike Rigsby, Scotty Hendricks, Randy Clark, Tracy Pactunis, past members of Chris McConnell, Julie Dobsky, Kendra Keck, Joe McDonald. I think I hit everybody. Forgive me if I didn't. Maya Bolger from Inside. We've had a lot of help along the way with this, and we're still learning. I think America's learning. Every day there's something new with NIL, and every day they'll say we can do something or we can't do something, and then that changes the next day. But this has been great. One other thing, and there will be a table at the event in 2 weeks with Jay Billis. Order some basketball cards. We will have basketball card sets. So, stop by. We have
old ones, but similar to that. These are John trees from the 1950s. So I got to get these to Gene.
We won't have them at the actual event, but you can pre-order them. Be great Christmas gift ideas. We'll have some sets that are autographed by all the players. Those will be a little bit more, but again, all the profits from those go directly into the NIL and the Center Court Club. So please support us. And in any way possible. If you have an idea, even if you think it's small or dumb, please reach out. We're looking for every and any way creatively to work with the community and get these athletes out to, sell ISU. They're great athletes. They're great people. And once you meet them, you'll see why you can be very proud of this program and this athletic department.
Yeah. This has been awesome. Thank you, guys. Now, I do got to call out Scotty Hendricks, who sits behind me at the men's games. I've been trying to get him to come on with these two fine gentlemen, so it actually shows that Scotty is... So, if you want to hear more really, really bad stories, Chad and I got a bunch of them, or stories that we've heard from things. We'll be there Wednesday night, 6 o'clock. Come join us to get a beer. With that, this is episode 45 of Bird Fans Forever. John, hit it.